But you're not bringing it up the way.
This is so crazy. I should take my foot down. I was just like...
What? Oh. Okay, go. I'm ready.
Oh, wait, I'm starting this. That's right. Hey, guys. Okay, so how aware are you of what's going on in the West End right now?
Are you referring to...
Jamie Lloyd.
No.
Okay. There's this director named Jamie Lloyd. If you don't know anything about him, look him up. He's cool. He right now has a production of The Tempest, and it's Sigourney Weaver.
Oh.
Oh yeah, here we go. His next thing is in February, and it's Much Ado About Nothing. And please guess who stars.
I do know who stars. It's Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be there to see it.
Do you know who stars opposite of him though?
I forgot.
I'm really intrigued. Haley Atwell.
Yeah. I sent my friends their promotion for this like 6 months ago.
And then promptly forgot about it.
Yep. Did.
But like, I need to be hype.
Oh,
and guarantees
so
there's gonna be recordings of it. You'll be able to see it one day.
That's his wheelhouse. Like he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But that's his thing. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Well,
I'm
this
excited
is
to see
like
her
fun
too.
Shakespeare. It's not even like...
No, it's not dramatic.
I mean, it is dramatic, but it's not angsty at almost all. There is that one moment, but even then, it's not Benedict's angst. It's everyone else's angst. And I just felt like, you know, that was something you should know and enjoy in your life.
Yeah.
Just not by going to London and spending money on it, because...
Yeah. No, that is so exciting.
Yeah, I know.
Proud of him. Get that bag, sir.
But guys, I'll tell you what, we can't talk about that because I'm actually too excited about what we're actually supposed to be talking about today.
Not us getting on topic.
Listen, I'm hyped. So, welcome back to another episode of fanfics&friends. Today we're gonna call it a prompts episode. I went out and found a couple fan fiction and writing prompts that we then put our own desires into. That sounds weird.
Okay. There are no desires.
What I meant to say was, I found these prompts and then we wrote notes on what we think these prompts should be used to write.
Yeah. Either ideas or characters.
Yeah.
That we would
It'll be
put
a culmination of
yeah.
randomness when we get into it, but guys, be prepared for 1, chaos, 2, strap in, we're gonna be here a minute, and 3, just know I apologize.
I don't. This is
It's gonna be a bumpy ride. All right. So prompt number 1. Are you ready?
Yes.
One character is a time traveler, and the other is an immortal. Wherever the time traveler goes, the other is always there to catch them up to speed on what's going on. Now, I was like, okay, let's be real. It's already giving the Doctor and River song, because it is. Doctor Who, right straight at this, literally their entire plot. But guys, think. We could go best friend energy. James and Sirius would do this 1,000%. They would.
Who's who?
I feel like James is the immortal and Sirius is the time traveler.
Yeah.
But then my brain had to. Sophie and Howell. Book verse specifically, okay? She's the immortal and he's the time traveler. But she can't remember why he's familiar at first. Like, he keeps rolling up and telling her stuff, but she can't remember at first, like, why do I know this random guy? And why is he always so familiar? Like, what? You're telling me I'm wrong? I'm not. What about you?
That sounds so good. Oh, I just had one thing. I read this and immediately it was like Aziraphale and Crowley. I was like,
omens.
This is literally
Good omens.
Good omens. And I said Aziraphale would just be confused. Like he doesn't have control over the time travel. He's just it's happening to him.
He just rolls up somewhere new.
Yeah, and Crowley's always there and he's chilling. He's like, let me tell you what's going on. And he's always in the garb. It's actually just literally the plot of Good Omens almost. Except Aziraphale is just a little bit more chaotic. So that's what I had for that. That was immediately what I thought of. I missed them. That was such a funny show.
I only saw part of it, I think.
Okay, actually I take that back. I liked season 1. Season 2, I was kind of bored.
I think I saw like an episode.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I also just love David Tennant, and that was...
That's because he slays,
It was so funny.
I literally just met the doctor. Come on.
Yeah, David Tennant is littered in this prompt. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Time travel immortal.
Next one.
One of your characters is taken hostage during a bank robbery. The other one is one of the robbers. I said this literally would... Not in like a serious way, in a completely unserious way. This would happen to Twilight and Yor from Spy Family. Like this would be canon. I'm pretty sure it's an episode. And they both, you know what's crazy? They both would be in that situation and they would see who the other is and be like, this is perfectly normal. I see nothing wrong with this.
Wife stuff.
This is normal husband-wife stuff. I see nothing wrong with this. Love them.
That's how that would go. You're right. So at first I was like, Persibeth. Which is like the OG fanfiction for me when I was like a middle schooler reading, you know, Percy Jackson fanfiction. He works at the bank and like hates his life. She's in there trying to get something like out of the bank, like an artifact or something, Indiana Jones vibes. And he like happens to know all the lore because of course he does. And he's like, sure, let me help you. And then like sprinkle in a little bit of magic because why would you not? But then I was like, My Hero Academia crack. It's Bank Endeavor. And like Shoto, obviously, is character A. And like Bakugo, Deku, Serojiro, and like Ida are the robbers. And he's like opening all the doors for them and is like turning off the alarms because he's like, I hate my dad. Take all of it. I don't care. I feel like that's, you know, all the memes of like, Uraku's like, I'm gonna buy my parents a new house when I'm a hero. And he's like, here's my dad's credit card. Have fun. You're telling me like that.
He'd blow up the bank.
He wouldn't blow up the bank. He just
would not be helpful.
He just let them take all the stuff. He'd be like, hey, are you here to rob my dad? Let me help you. So
have fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
So the next one is write a story in which one of your characters is a princess and the other is a civilian. This is a perfect setup for Tamaki and Haruhi. Like it just was. But I say reverse the roles.
He's a princess, right?
No, reverse the roles. She's the princess, because you would think he's the princess, right?
Right.
Reverse the roles, though. She's the princess, raised commoner, so that she'd be like a well-rounded ruler, and she has to take lessons from this group of uppity boys who don't know who she is. So it's still like the Oron boys, but they don't realize that like she's the girl in charge. Like this is the girl who's gonna one day be in charge, and they're like. They're not civilians either. I'm not making them civilians because she's also the civilian. They're still like high class. They don't know that she's Princess Haruhi.
Okay.
They just think because again, haircut. She's just this person they have to give like etiquette lessons to.
That's my favorite trope, haircut.
But then I was like, Anna of Green Gables, but then I took it back. I was like, we'll stick to Oron.
I did not have a great one for this. I said you could do like Princess Popper style, but without the love, like it's sibling, because otherwise this would be weird. With like Luke and Leia from Star Wars. But I was like, I don't know, you could probably do something with that. Like cute slice of life, not a lot of drama, kind of them, and like have them still be siblings, like literally siblings.
So they actually
like the princess.
Are they actually royal? Both of them? Or,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both royal, and like she's the princess, of course. He is the pauper.
Does she know she has a long lost brother?
No, I think that's the
they discover
the bit of Princess and the Pauper, like, or Prince and the Pauper. That's the story, right? They like switch places and then they find out that they're actually siblings.
They're not related.
I'm thinking of Barbie, Princess and the Pauper.
They're still not related.
Are you sure?
Yes.
No, they were. They're separated at birth, aren't they not?
No. They just happen to have the same birthmark, which is how they pass it off. They're not actually related. Yes. Which, tell you what, guys, out there in the universe, there's a really good Star Wars Parent Trap. It's Star Wars, but Parent Trap AU, and it slays, okay? Leia grows up with her dad. Luke obviously grows up with his mom because those personalities make way more sense that way, okay? And it's so good.
I need to read that. I think you mentioned it before, and I said the same thing.
It's so good. Anyway.
Ooh. The next one.
Yeah?
The next one is also Star Wars for me. Okay. Soulmark AU, where you have the first thing your soulmate says to you like a birthmark on your body. Okay. Hang on, bear with me. So this is Han and Leia. And we're thinking in the context of the 4th episode. And I know, hold on, I'm getting really nerdy real quick. Like, the context of the 4th episode. Now, I know that Luke is the one that comes and gets her from her cell. In my canon, in my head canon for this, it's Han. Han has this, okay, actually, back up. Han has the birthmark, and it says, I guess you're here to kill me. In this, that's what it says. In this canon that I have in my head, like, obviously he's hiding from bounty hunters, but maybe he takes odd jobs, like, and might kill people, like, off people every now and then. So he sees that this is his birthmark, and that's the line of work he gets into. So he's like, I'm never going to get close with anybody ever because it's going to end up being one of my victims. And I'm just not going to do that. But then, anyway, he gets entangled up with Luke, and like the plot of Star Wars happens. And then he goes to save this princess that he's begrudgingly saving. And she says that, and he's like, but of course he has a mask on, so she doesn't have to see him like have emotions. And then they can start their cute love story.
What does hers say?
I don't know. I didn't get that far. I was more concerned about his.
So I know I already talked about them. I wrote about Sophie and Howell again, though, because I had to. But movie verse this time, okay? Follow me. The timeline's already wonky, right? If you've seen Howell's movie Castle, the timeline's already a little wild. So he already knows who she is, but she doesn't, like, know until this random guy saves her one day and, like, bam, this is the guy. But he never says anything. And he's an alleged heart eater. So, like, right, the first thing she ever says to him is, like, his name. She, like, calls to him when he's, like, a kid. So all he's got is, like, Howell. But he knows her face. But the first time she meets him in her timeline is when he walks up behind her and he's like, oh, there you are, sweetheart. Well, imagine that written on your body. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'd be so embarrassed.
I would be like, what?
I'd be like, who out the gate?
Where am I?
That?
Where am I? Like, but
I'd be stressed.
wild because you know in the plot, like the context doesn't change in the movie. He just rolls up and says this to her and he already knows it's her. Like he knows. So he says nothing to her about it.
Well, that would definitely change the plot.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
Shoot.
If they're soulmates, she's still not going anywhere. He's an alleged heart eater, right? He allegedly eats people's hearts.
Right.
Right, because she knows who he is when they first meet. She's like, this is Howell.
Yeah.
But he's also her soulmate, and so it's like, what do I do? So when she gets cursed and still has to leave, if she ends up finding his castle, she'd be like, well, maybe he won't eat my heart because I'm an old lady, and he's my soulmate, but he also didn't say anything about it, so maybe he doesn't know. I'll just
that's a
feel it out.
It's not like a super specific thing to say.
Well, exactly.
So
by the end, he knows already. He's been new. She knows, but doesn't know that he knows. It still works out perfectly. But it just adds a little bit of
spice.
The next one. So funny. Okay, so the next one. Show one character sobbing into the chest shoulder of another when they think they're dead before the presumably dead character wakes up, like, to the sound of them crying. The first thing I was like, Robin and Starfire, canon.
Robin the one crying.
Yes, of course. Bro, if Starfire died, crazy. And then I was like, Roy Mustang and Hawkeye, canon.
You know what I said? Romeo and Juliet, not canon. I said Romeo and Juliet if Shakespeare was loved as a child.
Well, then I had another thought. This one was really wild. I don't know where I was going with this. I said, Pride and Prejudice, but there are pirates involved?
Ooh.
So he owns a trading company, right? And her
I thought
family,
we were gonna get Pirate Darcy.
No. He owns a trading company. Her family runs a successful spice trade. I thought about it, but then I decided against it. Pirates are in there somewhere. He almost dies. It slays. That's where I went.
Yeah, that does slay.
I thought about him as a pirate, and then I was like, but that makes no sense. I just couldn't make it.
Not unless it was like Princess Bride pirate vibes.
Then I wouldn't allow it.
Where he like inherits the name.
But then it would be like, well, no, he wouldn't have to because he's still like Darcy, but
yeah.
This is where it went.
So good.
So not Pride and Prejudice and zombies. Pride and Prejudice and pirates?
Write an AU where they're both on a cruise ship together I said the entire cast of Oron High School Host Club. I just want an episode where they're on a cruise ship. I basically get that in the show, but I want another one.
I didn't have anything good for this. I was like Harry Potter, but Sweet Life on Deck.
So is it like Harry and Ron are the twins, and then...
No, I did not. No. So it's not like
in...
Sweet Life on Deck, like the exact same copy. It's just the same vibes. Like they go to school on a cruise ship, but it's magic. And like Voldemort goes to every port to like cause issues. And then I didn't really think past that. I was like, that's it. That's all I got.
That's a really specific prompt.
I know.
Who wants yacht AUs?
Well, that's not even the same as a cruise ship AU. A yacht AU is
way
person,
different.
Somebody owns yacht, etc.
Yeah, actually, yacht AU? That's what I want. Yeah, I'm actually kind of scared for
you need a swimsuit and formal wear. Same episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we get into cruise ship episodes in anime? That's what I want.
All right. Oh! I'm sorry, what do I see? Guys, that was crazy. Is that for the next prompt?
I can't read the next prompt.
The next prompt is, if they invented a way to actually have sex over the internet, you and I could use that glorious technology for internet hugs.
What?
Do I need to read it again for you?
Please don't.
Oh, I read that wrong. I read internet drugs. The whole time.
So what did you say?
It still makes sense.
Wait, they found your drugs.
They found my internet drugs.
What does that even mean? How do you have drugs?
How do you have internet sex?
Well,
No.
But that's the point of the prompt, though.
Well, okay.
Internet drugs.
Listen. I said that's Denki to Mineta, but only after Mineta says something gross about internet sex, and Denki completely derails the conversations because he's a king and also an idiot.
Oh, yes. Okay.
But I felt like that's fine. I think it still works for hugs. It probably would be Deku instead if it was internet hugs.
So I said this was Beast Boy and Cyborg.
Wow, you're really on your...
And I know. And then I was like, Emma Woodhouse would also say this unironically.
To
anyone. She'd be like, internet hugs. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then Gojo would also say this, but very sarcastically.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I happen to know him enough.
No, yeah, I don't know who that is, so...
Mm-hmm. All right. Tell me about the next prompt.
Drop the attitude, Deadpool to Wolverine.
I took this many directions. Bakugo, period. Anyone in their life to Harry Potter himself. Or to Percy Jackson. There was a time, if you're there, guys, the phase of the internet, that the Persassy phase. Just saying.
The Persassy.
No, if you don't know it, you don't get it. Don't worry about it.
Screaming.
Haruhi to Kiyoya himself. The main character of Oron to glasses. Yeah. And then me to Shigure before I kill him.
Okay.
Cause
me to Shigure before I kiss him.
No. Next one. The next prompt had me.
Okay. Yeah.
When
What'd you
I read
put? Okay.
It's I'm not pissed. I'm hurt. And at first I was like, canon rewrite of Itadori coming back in season 1. And this is Megami's response.
Bro, I also did Itadori and Megami for this one.
Because, yes. And then I was like, I feel like Elizabeth Swann would gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss her way with this line. Because she would. And then I was also like, Lori from Little Woman would also try that, but he would fail. Because he's
his
an
voice
idiot.
would crack.
Well, no, he just, like, you know that scene where he's at that ball with, the other sister, and he's like kind of drunk.
Megan.
No, It's when she's in France or whatever.
I know who, yeah.
But he's like kind of drunk and she's like, no, literally stop, you're being an idiot. It happened in that moment. And then I was also like, Aizawa Sensei would say this. But only in like fanon, not canon. That'd be fanon Aizawa, not canon Aizawa. What did you come up with for I'm not pissed, I'm hurt?
I said Megami and Yuji. I said they just had a fight. And I'm going to say Megami.
Mm-hmm.
Megami goes out of the room. And there's like a curse or something out there. But for some reason, Yuji doesn't hear it or anything. He ends up fighting this curse and gets really hurt. I took this differently than emotionally.
I can tell.
He gets physically injured, like very badly. But it's Megami. So he's like, no. And he walks back in and like the actual timeline of how long it's really not that long. So they just walked out. They were pissed at each other. Had this conversation. Yuji's still in the room. He goes out and fights this curse, comes back. Maybe it's like 10, 15 minutes. And he comes back and he's just like standing in the doorway like this. And Yuji's like,
what's wrong?
No, Yuji's like, you're mad still. And he's like, I'm not pissed. I'm hurt. And then falls to the ground.
Yo, no, their friendship for real makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
The three of them, especially, guys.
It's going to make me cry. It's going to continue to make me cry.
Physical pain.
The parallels. Okay. I can't even talk about that. I said I wasn't going to. I literally told myself I wasn't going to talk about it. Okay. I'm like 20% sure this plan will work. The other
You skipped
80%.
one.
Whoa. No, I did not. Oh, because, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Actually, yeah. Go ahead. I added it to another one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Should I skip it then till we get there? I can skip it till we get there.
Sure. Okay.
All right. Go on then.
I'm like 20% sure this plan will work. The other 80% means we could die horrible and violently. But honestly, it's a really solid plan. I said Sean to Gus every day. Which, guys, you'll hear more about them in the next episode.
You will.
Little sprinkle. But yeah, that's Sean to Gus every day.
I said that was Kaminari Denki in the middle of any hero fight. Like, he's just doing his job and he's like, guys, I've got it. But I also feel like, I don't know if you read the Lunar Chronicles, guys, throw back to my middle school days. That's the main character, Cinder, 100%. But canonically, Edward Elric also said this.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Colin. I was like, canonically, leave.
Canonically, I've erased that man from my life. I don't know who that is.
Canonically, I don't know who that is.
Just pretend to be my date.
I didn't have one for this.
I had 3.
Okay, great.
Hamish Abernathy would say this. I don't know to who. But I feel like as a teenager,
Everyone.
homie was like, just pretend to be my date. Then I was also like, not for me. I would never actually read this, but some of my friends, my Shoto reader insert, like Shoto Todoroki,
Oh, yeah. I think so.
because he could play that, like, it'd be, yeah.
He'd be
And then
like,
I was
whatever.
also like, us spying on Bethany.
Guys.
Just a little bit of something for you. We have a friend who's dating this other person. It's awesome, whatever. But for Valentine's Day,
We were obviously going to spend it together.
obviously, but we know where they're going for Valentine's Day. And so we were either just going to roll up as a second pair and like crash their date as a double date, or potentially we were going to go incognito and see if they could figure out who we were, but we'll see. Come back way later for more.
I have wigs. I'm so excited. We're going full incognito. I'm going to have sunglasses on in the dark. Okay. Just pretend to be my date. Meeting you on Valentine's Day.
Wait, did you add it to not the next one, but the one after that? Is that what you added it to? Okay.
Yes.
All right, well, the next one is, if you set off one more firework at 3 a.m., I will fight you.
Yeah.
My brain originally was like Phineas and Ferb, and then I had to quickly curb, because I was like, guys, we're not going down that road. I've never gone that road, and I will continue to not go down that road.
If you read Phineas and Ferb fanfiction,
What's it about?
yeah, let us know.
But then I was like, I took it in a Hunger Games direction. Again, weird. I was like, Katniss to her neighbor Peeta, modern, obviously.
Okay.
He's like trying to get over something, whether it's like PTSD or something, like he's trying to get over it. So he like has a fear of loud noises, or I don't know. And she's like over it. But like, I don't know where it would go after that. I was like, I feel like she would totally roll up to her neighbor's house, no fear at 3 a.m. and be like, if you set off another firework, you're dead. And he'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. And then I was also like, either Chaos Trio from JJK would do this.
Wait, who's doing all
Like
three?
Itadori and Megami are like roommates, and Megami's like, I can't do anything about it.
I can't stop
and
him.
Nobara comes over and is like,
Shut up!
but then they like explain to her, like Itadori's like, okay, but wait, this is why. And she'd be like, okay. Like, you know, she'd be into it, and Megami would be like,
And you think Shoko would also be the one shutting down Geto and
Yeah.
Satoru?
the parallels that we're not talking about. Anyway,
Yeah, we can't talk about them.
so tell us about the next prompt.
No, I gotta tell you my 3 a.m. fight.
Oh, you have one? I forgot.
I
My bad.
do. No, and actually I'm pretty proud of it. Okay, I said.
Okay.
Yeah, I said.
It's bolded, I can read it.
Listen, I said Steve Rogers' Black Widow or Natasha Romanoff.
Oh, slay. We do
And
love them.
Except it's actually her target practice, and she thought he couldn't hear her. So
How
okay,
could he not? Because he's like 70 or like...
I don't. Okay, there's a lot of loose details. This I haven't decided if this is in a universe where the Avengers are a thing. Like they don't know each other in this.
Okay.
She is an assassin for hire. He is like a police officer,
Mm-hmm.
and he is
Is
currently
this romance?
could be
Slay, go on.
could be.
I mean,
I think in the context of this, it would slay. Maybe. I don't know. She's an assassin for hire. He's a cop who's actually looking for her, but he doesn't know that he's looking for her. They both live in this world. They both live on property. And for some reason, he's like, he can hear it. Or maybe he has like, maybe there's like slight mutation in this like universe. So he has like super sensitive hearing because he is like superhuman. So maybe he has like strength and hearing and something like that. Or maybe, I guess he could still be like a test subject and have this stuff, but like the Avengers
he
are
was
not a
super
thing.
sick as a kid and he's still like
Yeah.
got all these fun tests.
Yes.
Okay.
So he has that. He has super. Anyway, he like rolls up to her door and he's like, "Stop shooting off fireworks or whatever you're doing." And she's like, "Yeah, fireworks." And that's like the start of this enemies to lovers fic that I have.
Okay.
But they're like actual true and like yeah, like will he arrest her? Won't he arrest her? Will he find out?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the next one I'm not going to get into. I'm going to backtrack so that we can get
Yes.
into the next one.
Okay.
So I can tell you're lying was one of them. And at first I was like, Kyo. Kyo, someone would say this because he knows everything about Toru. He'd be like, I know you're lying. But also, this is Edmund. Pensive?
From Narnia.
Yeah, bro. That man, any of his siblings, anytime, he'd be like, you're full of it. I'm the king of it. I know.
Hello, Denman.
BS.
Edmund was the oldest, right? No, he's the one with the sweets.
He's the third youngest. Wait.
The one that meets the
He's the third
Tumnus?
eldest. No, she meets Tumnus. He meets the White Witch and turns them all in.
Yeah.
He's the betrayer. He'd be like, if you're relating
The
him to
Judas.
Harry Potter, he's the Judas.
Oh.
He's the Slytherin, like,
Okay.
etc.
Okay.
Which is why he'd be like, you're full of it. I
You're
know you're
lying.
lying. Now, this leads into, because you combined it with another prompt, and that prompt is fake amnesia.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Okay. So this is Hunger Games. Okay, hold on.
Where
So
are you
actually-
going with this?
So I started and I was like, I don't have the characters in mind. I don't have the characters in mind for this. But then by the time I finished writing it, I did have the characters in mind. So this person has been kidnapped and they're held hostage by this other person. And then something happens to where like they get hit really hard on the head to where they could fake the fact that they have an amnesia. They fake amnesia and eventually they're let go because they don't remember anyone and they're no longer of use because the reason they were captured in the first place is because they knew some information or knew some people that they were not supposed to know. And then as they're being walked out of the cell or whatever, and they're literally about to be free, the captor leans over and whispers, "I know you're lying," and lets them go. And I said Katniss and Finnick in the context of like the capital.
Oh, slay. Okay.
Yeah. So like in this world.
Yeah, I was like, why would they let them go? And then I'm connecting the dots. You're cool.
Yeah. So in this world, obviously, like, I guess Finnick kind of is like stuck as almost like a slave in the capital. Katniss gets arrested for,
You know that's
something-
canon, right?
yes.
Oh, damn. You said in this world, that is the world
But
he's
like
in.
in this, they're not like in the Hunger Games actively
Right.
or whatever. I guess they could be. I don't know Hunger Games that well, obviously. But she finds out some info she's not supposed to know. and gets captured. And obviously he's like, screw the Capitol, but quietly.
I like it. I would read that. I would read that.
And I want it to end there though. Like that's it. That's the fic.
So like
maybe it's like a one shot or something.
Or like a multi-chapter, but like
that's his bit or something, yeah. Mm-hmm. But like that's the end of it. And he's like, and like the bars close or whatever, and he's still stuck inside, and she gets out.
I would read that. I'd read that. Like, yeah, whoa, that's crazy. I was like,
I don't have a strangers to enemies.
Wait, we gotta back up the fake amnesia.
Oh, wow.
I have more fake amnesia, guys. The first thing that came through my brain was another My Hero crack fic, of course. But in the fanon theory that All for One, aka the bad guy, is Midoriya's dad.
Okay.
But Inko forgets. And she's like, I'm married? Nah, I'm gonna get divorced because the really skinny guy who like helped train my parent child, super nice. I like him. And she just marries All Might.
Super skinny guy.
She doesn't know he's All Might. And anyway. And then I was like, modern Pride and Prejudice. After Darcy's first proposal, it like goes bad, right? But it's like raining. Again, it has to be raining. And he like gets hurt. He like slips and falls or something and like slams his head. And Lizzie is there and he like freaks out and he's like, who are you, ma'am?
That was so stupid.
And then I was like, Merlin would do this though. Not in like a romantic context. He would just do this, like something would happen and there'd be magic that causes something similar to amnesia. And he'd be like, I'll pretend it'll work out. I'll save the day, etc. Because that's probably a canon episode and I just forgot. Anyway, the next one is strangers to enemies, and I added to lovers or to brothers, which is my favorite trope.
I don't have anything.
You had nothing?
No.
Wow. Okay, so guys, I know it's after Christmas, and yet I still recently watched White Christmas.
I thought you were gonna say the holiday.
No, bro.
I did too. I watched it over Christmas.
I just watched White Christmas, and I was like, what if it's White Christmas, but strangers to enemies instead of strangers to friends? With Bob and...
They are.
No, they're strangers to friends.
With who? Okay, wait.
The two main guys.
Oh,
Bob and Wallace.
Oh, okay.
Right?
The guys, not to the girls.
No, the guys.
Okay.
The guys. So instead of like Wallace saving Bob and like them becoming friends and partners, something happens.
It's like a Bakudeko moment?
Kind of, but no.
Okay.
No. They compete for like best producer / whatever, because there's so many different things. They're competing, and it's like a showdown at the Pine Tree Resort in Vermont. I don't know. But the other
and the girls are just side characters.
But guys, the iconic part is the next thing I did say was definitely Bakugo and Midoriya. But hear me out. Character study, specifically, in depth here. We're not here for plot, really. It's a character study. And it's Bakugo and Midoriya, who are not childhood friends, but strangers to enemies to rivals to friends to brothers. Like, Bakugo doesn't know that Deku is quirkless. So that's not a factor in their relationship because they don't know each other. They'd be rivals because Bakugo is like, this kid is loser Izuku, never took the time to train his quirk, but still thinks he's better than me, and it doesn't make any sense because he's got a hero's heart. Like, that's not logical. Why would you not train a really good quirk if you want to be a hero? Right? And so Bakugo has this beef with him, and eventually Midoriya would still tell him like that the quirk wasn't his and that he was quirkless. And I feel like that would be really interesting. Mm-hmm. It's like still mostly canon, but change their backstories.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting. It wouldn't have the same effect on the choices Midoriya makes as a character because I feel like Midoriya makes really specific choices because of Bakugo and their history. But I feel like the dynamic would be really interesting if they weren't friends.
I'd read it.
Yeah.
Read it.
The next one is, damn, it's like my mom likes you better than me. And I said Ron Weasley canonically said this to Harry Potter and meant it. And then I said, Hinata would also say this to Kageyama because he's like all manners. I don't know if you all know who those people are, but it's from Haiku. And then I was like, also,
list.
everyone to Tanjiro Kamado because he's the picture of perfect manners as well. He is. He's Demon Slayer. Should be better, I guess.
I'll get there. Oh my gosh.
What about you?
Like 30 shows. I said Marianne and Connell from Normal People. You haven't seen it or read it. I also feel like this is canon. But that's just because Connell is an idiot. Marianne's not far from it. He's an idiot and treats her poorly through the whole thing. And his mom is like, hello? So actually, like, she probably did like her better than him. So, yeah, it's such a good show, though.
Okay.
It's so good.
I'll believe you.
It's, what's his name? Paul Mescal.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you showed me
And,
some of it, maybe. Is it Daisy?
I almost said Daisy Edgar Jones. No, wait, that's her.
It's Daisy not Daisy Ridley. The other Daisy.
Yeah. It's Daisy Edgar Jones and Paul Mescal. Good for me. Yeah, it's really good. You should watch it.
Before they were like...
Yeah, like right.
At the very...
I think that was
the
probably...
edge.
Yeah, that was probably their...
Got
right
it.
to the edge.
Got it.
But yeah. Yeah, Murder for Hire is surprisingly affordable. I just feel like Steve Harrington would say this. I feel like he'd say it to Dustin. And Dustin would be like...
I wonder if he would really know, though.
If
Like,
it's
do you
really
think he would
affordable.
really know?
No, you know who I think would know? I forget her name. But the girl that he works with at the ice cream place, she would know.
She would.
Yeah.
I just listed a bunch of names here. Todoroki Shoto, Draco Malfoy, Dipper Pines, Lloyd Forger, unironically, and Hamlet.
Lloyd Forger, also Slay. Dipper Pines?
I feel like he would.
I feel like he would, but also the redhead chick. Also Goose. I feel like Goose would say that too.
But like maybe ironically, I feel like Dipper would be
Or
like...
Grunkle Stan.
Dipper would know though. Like we're not talking about kid
Yeah.
Dipper. We're talking about...
Oh, Adult Dipper?
Dipper.
Like Fanon Dipper?
I don't know Fanon Dipper. I've never read Gravity Falls fanfiction, but I feel like at
bet
some
it could
point
go
in his
hard.
life, Dipper Pines could say this and mean it. And people who don't know him would be like, haha. And people who do know him would be like... Okay, the next one went a little crazy too.
God, here, just hold my hand.
Wait, you skipped one again.
What? How? Oh. Yeah, it's because I didn't have one for this. Devastating.
Oh my god, I had so many. Okay. I always knew you'd die in my arms. First note, canonically, this is Hans of the Seven Isles from Frozen.
Okay, I did say that. Yeah, that is good.
Because canonically, it is him.
It is him. Yeah, he did say that. He said practically this.
Yeah, he did. And then I was like, Will Turner, if he never got to be free from the role as captain of the Flying Dutchman. So, like, Elizabeth dying, he would roll up to her death and then, like, you know, just be with her. And then, like, they'd roll up on the boat. And she wouldn't be dead anymore, but, like, tragic. And then I was like, this is also the most epic Phantom of the Opera canon ending to Love Never Dies, because one, that show was bad. Love Never Dies was a wild journey and it didn't need to exist. But it would be such a slay ending because, I don't know if you know anything about Love Never Dies. It's a sequel to Phantom of the Opera where allegedly Phantom and Christine had a son, and it's very the Count of Monte Cristo where, like, Raoul kind of knows but doesn't really know that it's not his kid, but, like, it's not his kid. Anyway, the end of that musical is the dancer girl from the first one, who's, like, Christine's friend, jealous of her, allegedly wanted to be with the Phantom, weird, kills Christine, like, shoots her on a dock. And then she's like, take care of my son, And I was like, okay. But, like, it'd be so slay of him to, like, go to her and be like, I always knew you'd die in my arms. And, like, he'd mean it and be sad, but also, like, so apropos for him. Because I feel like old Phantom, OG Phantom, if he couldn't have her, he'd kill her. Like, book Phantom would murder her. And he tried to. Like, I just thought it'd be interesting. And then I was like, Asuna would say this to Kirito. And he's, like, almost dying at some point, you know? And she'd follow it up with some melodramatic thing, would be like, you're always so reckless, blah, blah, blah. Your love for humanity, la, la, la. And then he wouldn't be dying because he can't die because he's over you. But Asuna would say that. But for real though, internal thoughts. Winnie the Pooh.
2?
Christopher Robin. And I know you're thinking, guys, Christopher Robin would be holding Winnie the Pooh, not the other way around. But you're thinking about it backwards, right? Because if Christopher Robin is dying, as an adult, he'd be going to his happy place, which for anyone is their internal child's happy place, which for him is the 100-acre woods. And it would just be him, like, taking a nap in Pooh's lap. And, yeah.
That's messed up.
I'm crying. Not when I'm on my period.
Well, I didn't want to take it, like, super villainy. I mean,
Yeah, that would be crazy for Winnie the Pooh.
I didn't mean with Winnie the Pooh. Evil Winnie the Pooh. Actually spent his entire time trying to kill Christopher Robin and failing.
It's just a really bad murderer. That's so crazy.
It's actually not a stuffed bear either. It's a guy in a bear costume. Like,
horrifying.
that's crazy. Okay, the next one, as Bailee was saying, is God here, just hold my hand. And I was like, Bakugo with Mina, like mid-scary situation, like as new pros, he'd be like, fine. Obviously, Kyo-Soma would say this.
I can't believe he didn't in that one episode when they were in the haunted house. I'm pissed he didn't, actually.
But then also, I feel like Tony Stark would say this to his adopted son, Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like, they'd be trying to avoid, like, the press or something would be happening, and Peter would be scared, and he'd be like, fine. So,
That's cute.
did you have anything for that?
No, I said Kyo.
Yeah.
Toru.
Because Kyo would and should have. I
Woulda, shoulda, if he would have known anything.
He knew. He knew.
That's so good.
If you don't know anything about Fruits Baskets, guys, just go watch it.
You
Just
gotta
pause
watch
right now,
it.
watch the whole show, and come back.
Yeah, please. I didn't have anything for the next one.
Okay, the next one is... Wait, where is it? Oh, it's Howdy New Neighbor. I know you probably don't know my name, but you smiled at me the other day and you seem pretty nice. So can you please help me and kill the giant spider in my kitchen? I will gift you with food. Ron Weasley. Canon. Canon. And then I was like, any fanfic writer would write this about helpless Deku, and they'd be wrong. Because Deku would just pick it up and take it outside. All y'all weirdos who, like, classify him like that, either one, you didn't watch the show all the way. 2, I'd like to talk to you about that. And 3, you're just, no, sorry. Even if he was afraid of it, he'd just be like, oh, bye.
We need to keep it as a pet.
I don't know, do you want to keep a spider as a pet?
I don't. Does Deku?
I don't know. Bakugo might. I feel like Kirishima would also keep a spider as a pet.
Yeah.
So would Zero. Maybe Jiro. Or
Deku.
Tokoyami.
Deku definitely had one of those little, like, ant colonies on his desk.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. He also maybe collected, like, beetles, but not spiders. He'd be like, beetles! And then Bakugo would be like, a spider! And he'd be like, ah! You know? Okay, the
Bakugo
next
definitely
one.
had a girl scream as a kid.
Yes. I saw you staring at each other, and I just wasn't sure if it was sexual tension or a murderous rage. This is clearly Uotani to Kyo. But this is also Charlotte Lucas to Lizzie about Darcy at, like, a New Year's Eve party in, like, modern setting. I didn't realize how much I wrote about Pride and Prejudice in this. That's crazy to me.
I said somebody to Chad about Ryan in High School Musical during I Don't Dance.
That's so funny. I don't know where I thought you were going when you said Chad. I was like, who's Chad?
I did not know that was his name. I was like, Corbin Blue. I could not think of his character name.
That's crazy too.
That cracked me up. Oh man. I couldn't think of anything for this next one either. My brain was running out of people, guys.
This one's funny. Dude, why did that siren take on my image and try to seduce you? Is there something you want to tell me? I said, this is a Bones mystical creature AU. Like Bones, like the TV show Bones. Right? So like Bones clearly sees Agent Booth. And you know, they come up with some absolute crap reason as to why, and Sweets is just like, right. Yep. That makes sense. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, and then I feel like this is also Beatrice and Benedict from Much Ado About Nothing.
Speaking of.
like halfway through the play, if it were set in like Greek mythology, you know, instead of wherever England.
Sitting here thinking about it, I feel like this would be a line that Gojo would say to, what's it, Jogo? Jogo?
The volcano guy?
Yes. Because I feel like the siren would take on Gojo's image only because Jogo's like, I want to be
Gojo.
Not like I want to be with Gojo.
That's so funny of you.
He'd be like, aw. But we're not talking about that.
The airplane AU? Okay,
Yeah.
so the next one's an airplane AU, where you're that person who spilled coffee all over me and almost made me miss my flight, and now we're stuck next to each other for an 11-hour flight. My first thought was Legolas and Gimli in like a modern Lord of the Rings AU, like retelling. But like by the end of the flight, it's like that scene in the book where they become friends, but like they've trauma bonded over the jerkwad who kept like calling the flight attendants for everything and yelling about it, and like their love for John Wick and Jason Statham. Because that would be what happened. But also, I don't think you've ever seen this, but also Horimiya. This would happen with Horimiya. It was just that good of a show. This would be them. I'm not explaining it. You either know it or you don't. It's okay.
I said Elsie and Jack from Love Theoretically. This might as well be canon.
Wait, which one is that?
It is the yellow book in the Sexy Scientist trilogy.
The blonde one.
Yeah. He's my blonde.
You can add him to the blonde list. I forgot about him.
Mm-hmm. I can't talk about this next one. You got it.
Okay. Like, you don't have anything?
No, not anything I'm going to share.
So the next one is a college AU where person A carries person B back to the dorms 3 months ago when they passed out at a party. And person B does not remember. But person B happened to confess their love in that moment, and person A definitely fell in love. Now, outside of this being the literal plot of Yuri on Ice, because it is. No, it is. Don't question me if you've never seen it. I'm right. Anna Green Gables would slay with this, okay? Because one, Gilbert Blythe is a gentleman. But also this would slay with Natsu and Lucy from Fairy Tale. But that's also just because I want them to be canon. That's all I want. And I'm not watching 100 Year Quest because I cannot not see them be canon again. But follow me.
I'm following.
Non-fantasy, think the second movie, Shrek. Listen. He's named something ridiculous, like some S name, but he's like a jock, and they call him Shrek, and he's cool because he hates his name. And she's like studying law or something, right? And she's like wasted at this party. But they've been talking, and she's like, you're not the meathead jerk you look like, whatever. And then, because she's like super drunk, he's like, let me walk you home. And she's like, okay. Immediately trips out the door, and he's like, I'll carry you. And she's like, that was so fairy tale. Like, you just swept me up off my feet. It's like you're a knight, but like a clumsy knight. And like, that maybe she could fall in love with him. And he's like, well, crap. But then she doesn't remember any of it. So he's just this weird football player who keeps talking to her, and she's like, can I help you? But then there's also this short jerkwad who keeps following her around, and it's kind of creepy, and he's like, whoa.
He's the water boy.
What?
Said he's the water boy.
Who?
Farquaad.
No, Farquaad is not on the football team in any way, shape, or form.
Don't make me read a Shrek college.
It's just what
Crazy.
What came to my mind? Okay, and the next one. This one's silly too.
So this is me.
I mean, yeah, it is. But it's a barista AU. How many times do I have to tell you I'm not giving you a discount on your coffee if you kiss me? Not that I wouldn't mind kissing you, but I'm not getting fired to give you a 20% off on your mocha. Anyone. You can put anyone in this and I would read it.
Yeah.
A coffee shop AU always slays. And then, as a sidebar, Gawain from Merlin would say this to Merlin as, like, not a joke, but also a joke. And this is how Merlin would respond, because that fits their friendship. But literally, you could put anyone in this, and I'd read it.
I'd devour it, yeah.
A good coffee shop AU. They're always so good. They are. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about coffee shops.
Cozy. Fun. I don't know.
Yeah, they always get really detailed about the drinks, which is so funny.
And the decor.
But yeah.
I like how detailed usually the like setting it. Like I get the full layout of the coffee shop. It's not just a coffee shop. I know exactly what coffee shop this is.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's my mind palace is the fanfic coffee shop. That's where I go.
You know, it really impressed me not to make a Sherlock reference this whole time. Slay for me.
Wow.
I know.
Is it going to be the last one?
No, I didn't write anything for this one.
I said, okay, the last one is, it's the last one we have. Soulmate ring prompt. It turns black before you meet them. So, right, you get a ring at birth or whatever, and when you meet your soulmate, it turns a color. But if they die, it turns black. But it's black before you meet them. Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they're dead, presumably. I said this would actually go, interestingly, with the fic we just finished reading. Because technically, Loki is dead when he meets Lily. But James is not. And if you're thinking he has the ring, assuming the ring thing goes across multiverses or whatever, technically he's dead. So her ring would be dead, but also he's alive in James. So she'd be confused when she falls in love with James.
Wait, but wouldn't her ring be James and not Loki?
I don't know. It depends on who you...
She falls in love with James before James remembers who he is.
But it's still Loki as James. She just doesn't know that and he doesn't know that.
Right, but he's not also truly Loki because he's not truly Loki because he doesn't remember all of Loki's memories. So
Okay, this is like a chicken or the egg scenario.
No, really, he's not actual Loki. He's pseudo-Loki. He's Loki at its purest form if Loki didn't have any of the life experiences Loki's had.
So does that still make him Loki?
If I were a ring, no.
Okay.
The real question, where I thought you were going and you obviously did not go, is the real question is, would his ring fall off when Lily dies?
Is that what's supposed to happen? What?
Yeah, when you die, when your soulmate dies, your ring turns black and falls off. Would his ring fall off when Lily dies?
I feel like it just turned black and not fall off.
Because death didn't plan for her to come back.
Right.
But the universe, in theory, might know. The rings might know, because right, if their power is, if their knowledge is spanning all time and space and etc., because they're magical BS rings, I don't know.
Yeah.
Would the ring fall off?
I don't think it'd fall
That's
off.
where I thought she was going with that. That's not what she meant.
Whatever. I also think it could do any Doctor Who fic could slay with this. It would be super timey-wimey. Because there's all sorts of different... Because it depends on like what... Like how do the rings work in timelines?
So if it wasn't Doctor Who, if you don't know Doctor Who or you're watching Doctor Who and you don't know what I'm about to say, and you don't want to know the spoilers for Doctor Who, I guess stop watching.
Bye.
The first time he meets, we're gonna go with his wife, because I don't know what else to call her really. The first time he meets her is the day she dies. The first time she meets him is the day he dies. Their timelines go like that. So I feel like he'd meet her and his ring would fall off. And then she'd meet him and her ring would fall off. But they also write a journal to each other. Mm-hmm. So they know, like, so when they meet in other times that aren't those two times, they like pass a notebook so they know what, like what's happening. Mm-hmm. So I think their rings would fall off here and here, but they wouldn't be, like, it wouldn't...
In the middle?
No, like his ring would fall off the first time they meet. Because then they meet again. It's just backwards in her timeline. Mm-hmm. But her ring would already be gone. Because he's already died. For her. But also not for her.
Right.
But I think... Yeah, I think her ring would already be gone. So but she knows who he is.
Like I said, good luck explaining that one. That was so much fun.
Maybe part 2 later.
Maybe part 2 later, yeah. Drop some prompts. I would do that again.
It also took all of my brain power, though. I was like, have I seen anything in my life? Have I read anything ever?
No. That's the question. That's the answer. That is the question.
All right, Shakespeare, tone it down over there.
There's been so much Shakespeare and Jane Austen in this episode.
Mostly through me, though.
Yeah. I brought up Romeo and Juliet on my own accord.
You did, like twice.
Yeah.
Or was it just once?
It was just once, but probably felt like twice.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
If you need help, go talk to my fish. He'd help you out. Okay, Hamlet, get it together.
Horatio.
Well, I think that's all I have for now.
Nice.
We'll see you next time.
Maybe. Oh, wait, no! Wait, we're reading something.
Oh, yeah!
I said I was going to mention it later, and then I completely forgot. We are reading... Okay.
Hold on. Just give them the...
The name of the collection is Ocean Psychic. It is by Hey Julian.
The H and the J are capital.
The H and J are capital. It's Julien. Don't know how else you spell Julian, but I can't spell. And it is a 2-work piece, but it's only like 8,500 words. So
yeah, and if you still can't find it, just like Ocean's 11 fusion fic, and it should show up in there somewhere.
Yep. Give it a gander. That's what we'll be discussing next episode.
We'll see you then.
Bye.